everybody, my name is Wendy Fore from Cash Life Mastery, and as you know, guys, we used to be on Blab. Well, we have redone our website, and instead of taking some of that old Blab stuff off, we decided that we would add it back and bring you some of the best, some of the top trainers that we interviewed, some of the motivational speakers we interviewed, and we hope you guys enjoy our old Blab series. And make sure that you check out Breaking Barriers in Business for all of our new masterminds, our blogging content, and our blog Pinterest courses that we're doing now. So take care, guys, and we'll see you on the flip side. Hello everybody, my name is Wendy Fore from Cash Life Mastery, and today you guys are joining Cash Life Mastery Social Juice with my guest John Melton. He is on fire today, guys, as always, because he's always on fire, and he is going to tell us about how to market on social media to generate leads. So guys, this is a topic of discussion that with all my clients, that is usually in the top 10 list. How do I get more leads on my social media? How do I use my social media better? So guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about John. He is in network marketing for how long now, John?
14 years, believe it or not.
Yes, wow. So he is a seasoned veteran, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell you guys how to reach him, and let him tell you a little bit about what he does, and then we're going to get right onto the topic.
Well, first of all, I'm noticing that I'm logged in through my wife's account, so that's pretty funny. So just so you guys know, my name is John and not Nadia, in case there was any confusion. But yeah, my wife and I actually met in network marketing 14 years ago, believe it or not. And she's actually been in the industry a little longer than me. She got involved when she was 19, and I got involved right when I was turning 21. I think like the month before I turned 21. And I had no direction in life. I had no business being in business. I'd never been in sales, never been in marketing, didn't even know what network marketing was, but I got excited because I saw the opportunity to earn residual income. I love the concept of making money when I help other people make money. I love that concept. And then it became a reality. You know, we did that company for a couple years. I won't say that I made a lot of money, but I definitely grew as a person. I learned a ton, and I had some good months in there, but I also had some bad months. You know, the first couple years of being an entrepreneur, being in sales, being in network marketing, it's not normally easy, because typically you don't know how to overcome objections. You don't really have the work ethic or the time management skills. You really have no clue what you're doing. Let's be honest, right? So I was just kind of figuring out as I was going. But the first 6 months were really interesting. I kind of feel like after 6 months though, I went through a lot of growth, and I started to become somewhat of a leader back then. And I started doing some presentations and trainings and stuff like that. And, I had better posture and belief in myself. But again, I never really made that much money in those first 2 years in that network marketing company. And then the company went out of business, unfortunately. And we followed our upline into another company. Back then there wasn't social media or anything. So you only knew what you knew. You only knew who you knew. And I didn't know that many other people that were doing network marketing. We thought we were going to be, multi-millionaires and retire in 5 years in that first company, right? That's kind of what when you first get involved, you're like, oh, I'll be done in 5 years. I'm just
a millionaire.
Multi-millionaire, guaranteed. Because they just do such a good job of raising your belief, right? And anyway, long story short, that next company, we just never really got that into it. I mean, we were kind of like just following other people, but even a lot of them kind of faded out. And I think everybody was really upset that first company didn't work out because, again, we were all supposed to be millionaires in 5 years, right? So I got into the mortgage business, Wendy, and we actually did pretty good in the mortgage business. I mean, I made $125,000 my first year. I don't remember what Nadia made, but she actually was pregnant and still made $60,000, $70,000, whatever it was. And, we had our first child back in 2004. So he's going to be turning 12 this year, which is crazy. He's 11 now. But, the bottom line is I knew I needed to make money because I now had a why, right? I had a wife, a son. I had super, crazy motivation, and made $125,000 the first year, $250,000 the second year. But here's the thing. I then invested in real estate, and I bought high and I sold low. So I actually lost $1 million in real estate. I ruined my credit. And at that time, I kind of felt like I didn't want to do mortgages when I grew up, right? It was like, yeah, I'm making good money, but I don't want to do this for like 20 years. I don't want this to be a career. I was living in my office. I mean, it's just a very stressful job to be in the mortgage business. You can make a lot of money, but you could also, make no money. I mean, it's just 100% commission. It's up and down. The rates went up, the rates would go down, the rates would go up. They kept changing things. I remember when they said, you're going to have to get a license. And I'm like, I don't like taking tests. I hated that in school. So, nah, I'm not going to do that. So I ended up getting into a company called ACN. I did that for 7 years, did it part-time for a couple of years. And then eventually, after doing it part-time for 2 years, I went full-time. And we had a pretty good run in that company. We did pretty good. But in July of 2013, we resigned from that company, went in a different direction. And we're still obviously building a network marketing business. But over the last couple of years, Wendy, we've really got into training and coaching. We have our own Facebook course called Social Network Marketing Academy. We have our own branding course, My Branding Academy. So we have our own courses. We do masterminds. We do some group coaching. We're doing a boot camp right now. And we're not just coaching network marketers. We're coaching people that are just, entrepreneurs, people that are in business. Because most people today want a social media presence. They want an online business. I like to call it having a virtual business, because although I say I have a home business, I mean, there are times where I'm not at home, right? This week, actually tomorrow, Nadia and I are flying out for our annual conference for our company. We're flying out on Wednesday.
That's what I absolutely love about this business, because I've traveled to go see my grandmother, but I did a coaching call for the whole hour that I was on the road.
There you go. You have a virtual business. As long as you have this and your service, you can make money. It's about freedom, right? It's about being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, anytime you want. And, for me, in the beginning of social media, I was just using it to recruit people. And obviously we still do that, but I have to be a little careful now, because sometimes I'm talking to people that are, in other companies, and I don't like go after someone that's happily married, right? If they're in another company, and they're happy and they're excited about it, I'll give them, like, here's check out my blog, or here's this blog that I did, or training that I did, check that out, or, here's a webinar that we have coming up. So, but of course you always find people that are like, hey, I was in network marketing a couple of years ago. I'm thinking about getting back into it. You and Nadia are all over social media. It seems like you guys not only make good money, but, you have an actual life. I see you with your kids a lot. I see you travel. I see you guys having fun. And I think for us, I can't speak for everybody in the industry, but for us, that's what we always wanted anyway. It wasn't about sitting at home 7 days a week and being able to sit behind a computer and, work, or, sit at home and watch TV. It's about being able to travel or do what you want to do and having freedom. Money is great, but time is worth more than money. You can always make more money. You can't make more time. So I tell people I'm not money motivated. I'm freedom motivated.
Exactly. It's time freedom. And that's what the whole industry is about, is finding that time freedom. It's changed my life for sure, because, now I can homeschool my child. And when we want to pick up and go somewhere, a conference, or, we just want to go visit a family member, I don't have to worry about, taking my business with me, because as long as I've got, like you say, the laptop and the telephone, I can run any of my businesses.
Exactly.
So now, taking that, we've got this wonderful industry of network marketing, affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing, whatever people may be doing, how can we use social media to make that happen for us? We all have our different techniques, but what is it that you're doing that really helps you build your teams and draw people to you? Give some of these newbies or intermediate marketers that are struggling some of your guru tips.
Are we able to do a screen share on this thing?
If I had known about it earlier, I could have set up my laptop.
No big deal. I'm just kind of curious because I know Google Hangout, you can do that, but
you know what you can do? You can, like, because I have two accounts, I use my daughter's account and I take my laptop and sign in with hers.
am I able to use Blab on my Android?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Well, no. iPhone.
iPhone, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is where the people say, this is why you need an iPhone, right?
I know. I broke down and got one about 3 months ago. My husband is so jealous.
Well, it's kind of funny, too, because my wife has one. I just don't really like it that much, but there are certain benefits like having Blab on your iPhone, not on the Android, right? So I'll just show some of my posts. So just as an example, and I'm not saying that this is like the post to do, but this is a post that I did this morning, and I don't know if because of the lighting you can see that. No, you probably can't. But so anyway, someone can go to my Facebook and look at it. But it has 82 likes, 5 comments, 4 shares. But it's just generic value. It's all about giving value. It just says, like I posted, quitting is easy. The real challenge is to keep going, even when most people would throw in the towel. They don't write books about quitters unless one day that quitter quits quitting. Don't ever give up. Keep pushing. And then it's a meme by Brendan Burchard. And it's like, the more you study great people in history, the more you realize you just can't give up. So the point is that's like an inspirational post, right? That's value. Yesterday, I posted a video. Do you want more success? Why just showing up isn't enough? And then I did a video, and the video has 979 views. And then, we'll have posts like we had a Valentine's pick on here, 349 likes, 20 comments. I did a post on Valentine's, and it's a meme. Every morning you have 2 choices: continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. And that got 45 shares, 217 likes. And the reason I point this out is I'm not pitching anything.
Exactly.
Not selling anything. So people are like, what do I post on Facebook so I can make money? And the problem is, if your mindset is to use social media to make money, you're already off to a bad start.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's about attraction marketing, guys. And that's basically what he's telling you. Yep. Everything that you do needs to be of value, lifting up your customers, just like he was talking about that Valentine's Day post.
Yep.
That was a feel good type thing, lift you up type of post. And it attracts people to you, so they want to keep coming back. And then when he's ready, he's going to drop that bomb about what he's doing next that he can actually sell.
Exactly.
So tell us how you rotate between selling and posting the attraction marketing type posts.
Well, my mindset is I want to provide value. I want to help people. And I know in turn, when you're putting out value, when you're helping someone with maybe some tips, some strategies that they can implement. One thing that we started doing a while back is, I post videos at least 3 to 5 times a week. And my videos are always short, anywhere from 2.5 minutes to 6 minutes, somewhere in that range. And also some of the videos that get really good engagement, a lot of views, we'll turn that into a blog post. So we have an email list with thousands of people. We put out value on Periscope and Snapchat and Instagram and, Blab. I'll do these interviews once in a while, and I want to use Blab more because I do like it. But the bottom line is you're constantly putting yourself out there. And of course you want to have a call to action, right? You're giving out your website. People go to your website and they subscribe to your email list. And maybe you have a webinar coming up. I'm promoting my webinars. I'm promoting, something on the back end that can capture the lead, whether it's a capture page. I actually co-founded myduplicationacademy.com, and we create capture pages for network marketing companies. So let's say somebody's on right now and they're in a weight loss company. Okay. They could do a short little video giving, 3 tips on how to lose weight, maybe lose 10 pounds in 10 days. And it could be eating more often, eating smaller portions, and then taking this supplement. What's the supplement? That's a product they're selling through their MLM, right? So they do this video with the 3 tips. The last tip is talking about their supplement. And if you'd like more information or you'd like to connect with me, this is the call to action part. You give a call to action about how they can connect with you on Facebook. They can visit your capture page. They can send you an email. You can even give out your phone number. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing the phone number option, but I've seen people do that, and they've gotten calls and text messages from people. So
I have seen people actually get what they call a burner phone, just phone for media. And they give out the text number, and they say, please only text me. Of course, people are going to call, but they use it just for that point. So, guys, that is an option for you.
Yeah. The company that we created, the My Duplication Academy, through, they're the ones that created Phone Burner. So that's an incredible tool. And, the thing is, though, I personally believe that in the beginning, you really don't need a lot of tools and systems. It's really just connecting with people. And again, it depends on who you're talking to. Like if I'm having this conversation with, an experienced network marketer that's been in for a few years, but they're not making money, or they're making a lot of money, those are two different conversations right there. Right. If I'm talking to someone that's a complete newbie and they just joined this week and they've never done MLM before, they don't even need to worry about social media. They need to have home meetings, three-way calls, and just hammer their warm market, because literally I've seen people get involved in network marketing, and because they launched their business the right way, they didn't just join and they didn't join and then spam their list. They literally launched their business and they used effective strategies to expose those people professionally, in a professional manner, not a spammy, salesy way. And because they signed up 50 people out of their 500 person list, or 25 people out of their 200 person list, they then, if they were following that same system with those 25, they built their entire business through not just their warm market, but their team's warm market. I mean, I was in that one company, ACN, for 7 years. We didn't really use social media at all. I'm not going to say I didn't do cold market, because I did do a lot of cold market, but my mindset was I want to bring in a stranger so I can get into their warm market. I didn't bring in a cold market person to get into teaching them cold market. I brought in someone from the cold market to get into their warm market. So just realize that warm market is the sweet spot in network marketing. But again, if somebody's been in for 3 years, I would assume they've already hit up their entire warm market. That person is going to have to learn how to, number one, do cold market prospecting. And they're going to have to learn how to market themselves. And you already mentioned it, Wendy. There's attraction marketing, but then there's also proactive prospecting. So one is reactive and one is proactive. So putting out a video, I don't know, maybe nobody will watch the video. I might have 0 people watch that video. I have no idea, right? I can't control someone watching a video, but I can control me reaching out to people. Exactly. If I say I'm going to contact 5 people a day, or 10 people a day, or 2 people a day, whatever it is, I can control that. I can't control people watching my video and then actually reaching out to me and actually wanting to talk to me. It's
all about consistency.
Yes.
A lot of people try to take social media and do too much. We just had somebody asking about, what if they've been in the industry 6 years, but they're still struggling. My suggestion to that type of person would be, pick one social media platform, get really good at it, and be consistent with it. And just be there and show up every day. And like he was saying, these videos and stuff, they may not get watched. You may not get comments. You may not get likes. But eventually people will see that you're consistent, you're motivating, you're giving value.
Yep.
And it'll happen. It just is kind of like night and day. I think my first 3 years in, I was in learning mode. I couldn't break that learning mode. And then my 4th year, I really tried to get out there, joined a few companies, just bombed because I was so shy.
Yeah.
I did not like to be on camera. I didn't like to talk to people on the telephone. It was just horrible. I was horrible. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you didn't know what to say.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, you were probably like, they would give you an introduction and you're like, all right, okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so I mean, we've all been there, right?
If somebody told me no, it would crush me. I would really take those no's personally, because I believed in my company. I believed in my product. I was motivated to help people. Yeah. And I think I was always coming from the right place. I had something that I felt like would help people.
Sure.
But if people said no, or the money objection. You know, there was just so many things that I could not figure out how to overcome. So I took a step back and I said, you know what? I'm just going to put my heart out there and give people things of value, things that I think will help them. And that's just kind of what led me into business coaching.
Yep.
More so than, you know, the internet marketing, MLM marketing, and the affiliate side, because I started putting out things of value, and it was like people were coming to me asking questions, and it's like, I'm actually pretty good at this part. So I think we grow with our business, but it's about being consistent so you can make mistakes and grow.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody tells me that they, you know, like Melody, you said you've been struggling for 6 years, then you know what? Ultimately, it's time, in my opinion, it's time for you to do something different, right? Whether it's invest in a coach, you know, like Nadia and I, we were making multiple 6 figures, but we want to break through to 7 figures. So we hired Ray Higdon as one of our coaches. We've plugged in with Amy Porterfield and, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk's amazing, Grant Cardone, but we wanted an actual coach. And we've had that's a multiple 5-figure investment, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. But if we didn't make that investment, first of all, what's interesting is when you invest that much money, the first thing that comes to mind is, what am I going to do like now to make it back?
Exactly.
So we launched a mastermind last month with our partner, it's like basically it's called Celebrity Circle. It's these, you know, 7 or 8 women that are all in this mastermind together. And so I'm not even really in it, right? It's Nadia and her partner Janelle, but that was a $70,000 profit from one weekend. And then we also had a webinar that did over $9,000. And then over the course of the next few days, it did another $5,000. So that was a $14,000 webinar. And that's just 2 examples. And that doesn't even count our network marketing income. That doesn't count our insurance agency. That doesn't count some of our side ventures and online income streams. So the point is, sometimes you just have to make that huge investment of your time. It doesn't always have to be money. It could be that you go to a seminar for a weekend. It could be that you invest in a coach. It could be that you invest in a course. Because if what you're doing isn't working, you got to obviously do something different. I will also agree with what Wendy said. You have to become more consistent in putting value out there, because, you know, all an entrepreneur really is. What is an entrepreneur really? It's someone that solves problems for profit.
Right.
That's it. You're solving problems for profit. So every book that someone buys, it's not every book, but every business book, you're buying that book, right? If I buy Gary Vaynerchuk's book or Danny Johnson's book or Grant Cardone's book, it's because I want them to solve a problem of mine, right? If I hop on an interview like this, it's because I want to learn something. I'm looking for a takeaway, something that can help me. And here's one thing that most people won't do. But I can tell you that we're doing a boot camp right now. We're coaching like 30 or 40 marketers from various companies right now. And what we're telling them to do, they got to create content every day, whether it's Periscope every day, a video on Facebook every day, maybe flip flop. One day you do Periscope, one day you upload a video to Facebook.
Right.
You got to start doing video. You have to start doing video, because most people won't do video. But what's powerful about video is people get to know you. They get to know who you are. So when, like, if Wendy and I have never met in person, but when we meet, we're going to feel like we already know each other because of this live video interaction, right? Right.
I mean, we've been getting to know each other over Facebook, but it's just a totally different thing when you get on Blab with somebody. You build like such a higher relationship, understanding of that person. Yep. And then when you meet in person, it's like, oh, wow, I've known you forever.
I get people all the time, like people that I went to school with, like high school, I haven't talked to in years. And you know, I wish them a happy birthday, which, by the way, I wish people happy birthday every single day. They say a very high percentage of the wealthy wish their clients and business associates happy birthday. You know, so and the poor very rarely do that. Interesting statistic. But I wish people happy birthday that, like, I went to high school with, I haven't seen in over 10 years, a decade, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, I watch your videos all the time. And that's the thing. Most people are like Santa Claus. They're always watching, right?
It's surprising.
Attention.
I went home for Thanksgiving, and my brother told me, he said, And he never mentions this at all. He's like, I see your videos all the time. I think you really need to change up your logo. I'm like, who put you in internet marketing?
Yeah, didn't know you were watching.
Yeah, it took me back because it was like, the least person that I would ever expect to watch anything that I did was noticing so much that he thought that it was time for me to change up and do something different. And I was like, it floored me.
Yep. It always cracks me up too, because some of the people, you know what I think to myself, and I know you probably have thought this too. I'm like, oh, so you're watching my videos. Cool. Never saw a like or a comment from you.
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, I think you mentioned that you saw it.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So you've been watching some of them. Oh yeah, I watch all of them. And that's awesome. You never like or comment though. Now I never say that because honestly, I don't even feel like putting that type of bad energy out there. But, it is always interesting when it's like non-networkers and non-entrepreneurial minded type people.
And I will say that,
they don't want to like or comment. Huh?
We're people too. And so when we do the work to put information out there to try to help everybody, it does make us feel good when we get likes, comments, and shares because we know it's appreciated.
What's interesting is people say to me all the time, Wendy, they say, how do I get more likes and comments? And I'm like, how many likes and comments are you giving?
Yeah.
Like how many comments are you putting out there into the marketplace? If you're not commenting, liking, sharing, why would you expect anybody else to like, comment, or share on your stuff? Especially when you're in the beginning, like you're not famous. You're not a celebrity. You haven't proven yourself yet. You need to go out there and do that stuff. And, but again, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because people will say, well, I'm spending a lot of time liking and commenting and sharing. But if you're in network marketing, that's not a money-making activity.
Mm-mm.
That's what can lead to money-making activities. But the top priority, if you're an MLM, is prospecting. So let's just keep it as simple as possible. If somebody says, well, I want to make more money in network marketing, then I'll say, how many people are you exposing to your presentation every single day?
Right. And actually talking to them, not just posting.
They're not looking at a video. They're not attending an event. If they're not looking, if their eyeballs are not on the information, on the presentation, whether it's live and in person, whether it's a conference call presentation, a webinar presentation, a recorded video, you're not going to make money. Nobody's joining anybody if they don't know about it. So that's the priority. So if you say I'm going to expose 5 people a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 people a week times 52 weeks. I can't do the math, but that's a lot of people, right? Yeah. However, if you say, well, I've only been exposing 5 people a month. I want my business to blow up. What can I do on Facebook? First of all, you need to expose more people, then start focusing on what you can do on Facebook. Now, the only catch to that is if somebody says, well, everybody on my Facebook, I've already shared the business with. I swear they've all said no at this point. My team has died off. Maybe you need to get more coaching from your upline. Maybe what you're doing isn't working because there's something maybe you're saying too much. You're talking at people. You're not asking enough questions. You're not presenting the information professionally. There's something going on there that doesn't make sense to me. But 95% of the people I talk to, Wendy, they still have people on their list they haven't even approached.
Oh, yeah. Most of the time is people that they haven't approached. And I think, too, one thing I see team members do is they get a little intimidated by people who maybe are doing better than them in other companies. So they feel like, well, I'm not going to tell them because they're at this level and I'm down here. But guess what? There are a lot of leaders out there in the industry that maybe they're not quite happy with exactly what they're doing, or they feel like they're comfortable with what they're doing and they could take on something else.
Yeah.
You got to kind of flip that switch and, say, hey, just because this person's doing better than me doesn't mean that I can't let them know about what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, that's so true. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of building relationships while you're finding open-minded people to share the information with. And you have to do something different to create that curiosity, to create that interest. And I think that's one thing that I've really identified with video, because when I started putting videos out there, all of a sudden, I have almost 10,000 followers on Facebook. Obviously I have 5,000 friends also. So, I mean, that's almost 15,000 people from social media. And I'm, obviously that's nothing compared to like a celebrity, but
yeah,
for social media, that's a lot of people. And then of course I have Instagram and I have some of these other social media platforms, Periscope, several thousand people. But, ultimately it's just like you said, finding or identifying a platform that you're going to start consistently building relationships, prospecting people, putting out content. Because here's the thing. If I friend someone up or I give them information and they're not ready for it, because 90% of the people don't join after a first exposure anyway, but now they're seeing my videos. Now they're seeing me traveling. Now they're seeing me interviewing people or taking pictures with the kids.
They're thinking in their minds.
They're paying attention. They're like, what do you got going on? Or maybe I need to take another look at that thing,
And, I think that's what got to me when I first started doing video is people would, maybe even a week or so after I put a video out, they would, happen to message me and they're like, oh, I watched that video last week. And just like you said, they didn't like or comment, so you didn't know.
Yeah.
It felt like it bombed. But guess what? All these people really did see it. And then I'll have people come back and say, oh, I saw you going on your trip to Florida. How was that conference you went to? Because I went to Ray Higdon's Top Earner Academy. I took all these pictures. I did all these videos. And it was like 2 weeks after I got back before people were actually talking to me about it. So I thought all that stuff was, it's like, wow, does nobody even notice I put all this stuff out there for them? Or so guys, it's crucial that you just stay consistent all the way through, because eventually these folks will come around. They'll be like, what is it exactly you were doing again? You told me a month ago, but what is it that you do? What company is it that you're working for? Because they finally start to see that lifestyle, the time freedom you have, the things that you're doing, and they're like, damn, I want to do that too.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to be able to travel the world and, write it off on their taxes, earn residual income, hang out with awesome people? Like nobody goes, oh no, I love hanging out with negative Nancy's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are the type of people I really want to be around.
Yeah, I just love hanging out with people like that. No, of course not. Everybody wants to be around winners and people that are playing big. And nobody says, oh, man, I just wish I could play smaller, right? I mean, so I think ultimately
Speaking of that, and I'm glad you brought that up. Guys, if you have negative Nancy's on your list, cut it out. Just cut it out. It's hard to do, especially sometimes it's family. Just kind of distance yourself, because mindset is everything in this business. Wouldn't you agree, John?
Oh, absolutely. The mindset is more important than the skill set. A lot of people confuse that. They think that they need to know all the skills, but the reality is they are lacking the mindset to back the skills up. Because if you have a bad mindset, if you say weak things like, well, I'm going to give it a try, or hopefully I can make some money with this thing, you're already setting yourself up for failure, because you're not even really that serious or committed about it. And people can smell, a BS or someone that is doubting whether they can make it or not from the very first, phone conversation. They're not even going to look at the information, because they can just tell you don't believe in what you're talking about. If you're like, hey, so I found this thing and I think I can make some money with it. I'm going to give it a try and hopefully I can fire my boss one day. They're going to be like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's just clearly you don't even believe it yet, right? But if you call them up, you're like, oh my gosh, literally I found something. I have to get with you. When do you have 20 minutes? Like, I'm going to swing by your house. Like, what? Really? Dude, just trust me. I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you coffee, whatever, right? If you're broke, just buy them coffee. So, and buy them small, right? But the bottom line is it's getting in front of humans.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. But if you're not like, oh, I haven't exposed anybody to my business this week, I need to find people. Really? You haven't ran across a single person this week? It's just not possible that you didn't meet somebody at the gym or at work or online. I mean, nobody. So to me, it's just taking action and again, asking better questions, getting to know people. A great way to cold market prospect someone is to compliment them. Hey, I love your shoes. Where'd you get those? Awesome. What do you do? right? Where are you from? You know, are you married? Awesome. How long have you been married? What do you like? What do you like about your job? What don't you like? I mean, it's just asking questions, getting to know people. And we have opportunities every day, online and offline, to do that. It's just doing it. But again, like you said, it's more about the mindset than the skill set. You know, it's more about how you say something and your posture than the exact words that you're using.
And a lot of people are leaving off that cold market prospect aspect. And like, I still have business cards, guys, because when I go somewhere, even though everybody has their telephones and everything nowadays, there are those situations where you're talking really quickly. You really don't have time to exchange information. So I want to make sure I have that little card that I can pop out and say, hey, call me in an hour or two when you get home. Here's my number.
Yep.
You know. So
I mean, at the end of the day, I have business cards. I connect with people on social media. Like, I mean, I'm doing it all because I know that there's some people that aren't even on social media.
Yeah, some people are not. They just, even like our age,
hard to believe.
I actually have met people in our age group that, you know, are not on social media. Why? Because maybe they tried it out and they didn't like it. You know, they felt like it was drama.
They didn't understand it.
Yeah. They really didn't know how to operate it. They just didn't want to take the time. So boom, they're done with it, you know. So, you know, even though we're in the age of everything being on the internet and, you know, internet based, there are still those people that have not followed that little path yet.
I mean, you know, and ultimately, I think it's connecting with people. I like what Gary Vaynerchuk says. He goes, a lot of people, they build a lot of width, right? They have tons of relationships, right, but they don't build any depth with any of those relationships. And, you know, I brought in 3 top 10 income earners in my current company within the first month, 3 top 10 income earners. But I mean, that wasn't like, I didn't just call up 3 people that were top earners and bring them over. No, one of them was from our previous company. One of them was in a company for 8 years. Another one was referred to me. And it's one of those things, man. You know, just putting out value, building your reputation, staying in touch with people, and planting seeds. And you just never know what will happen. And it wasn't just me they joined. It was, you know, a great company, the right timing. You know, they liked maybe my style, but then they also had to like the company product, right? I mean, there's lots of moving parts and variables, but at the end of the day, it's building up that following, building up your audience, because you just never know. You just never know which one of those followers, which one of those relationships are going to turn into a profitable business partnership. You just have no idea. Some of them become clients, some of them become, you know, customers, whatever. So you just never know.
And so, you know, again, I say that it all builds back to attraction marketing and providing value on a consistent daily basis. And, you know,
totally.
And just making sure that you're consistently talking to people. And I go into talking to someone not to sell them something, but you have to stop and think, what is it I can help them with? What is their problem?
Yeah.
You know, what struggle do they have, and what do I have that will actually help them? Also,
absolutely,
you're looking at prospecting somebody into the business. If you think about it more along the lines of you're doing a job interview in a way, not necessarily a job interview, but, you know, I equate it to that because you want to have the right kind of people on your team. You know, John would be on my team in a heartbeat. You know, he'd be somebody that I'd absolutely go after because he has proven himself. He's very intelligent in the business. He knows what he's doing. But then there are other people that are like, you know, they're negative about internet marketing. You know, do you want somebody like that with you dragging your team down? You know, so if you think about it as instead of selling, more like a job interview, then I think that seems to get people over the fear of talking to people about the business.
100%.
And have you ever done like have some of your team do cold call training with you? Like get
yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
Yeah, we've done it all. This is my daughter, Christina.
Hey, Christina. So how do you think that helps and helps them with some of their getting over talking to people?
I mean, I think it helps tremendously. I mean, at the end of the day, cold market, the mindset of cold market is to turn a cold market prospect into a warm market friendship, right? At least a warm market relationship. So my goal, I've never signed up a cold market person, but I've taken thousands of cold market people and turned them into a warm market lead. And then I sign that lead up. Yes. I'm working right now, monkey. No. So, that's really my mindset is it's to take a stranger and turn it into a friend. It doesn't have to be like someone that I'm going to be like hanging out with and talking to all the time, right. But at least it's like someone that I'm like, I'm building that relationship. So it's not I mean, you can't sign up a cold market person. You have to get to know them. Then they're warm market. They're at least lukewarm.
Yeah, lukewarm. I like the lukewarm part. And, I never, ever approach like a new person on Facebook, a new phone call, a new anything as somebody that I'm going to sell. Maybe that's the wrong approach, but I want to get to know them, what they're about, their family, and then at some point, you have to keep your list. That is important of who you've talked to, who you haven't, and then kind of go back and follow up with them. And then maybe the second or the third conversation is when you're actually trying to lead into your business.
100%.
So
yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. And it's exciting too, because eventually you'll build up such a list, such a following that it's almost like impossible for you not to get some traction from that. Cause it's like,
right.
If you know that many people, some of them are going to like you. It would be almost impossible to not recruit some people if you have that many relationships.
Exactly. And like I said, it just goes back to building that know, like, and trust factor. And like what John was telling you guys, if you are not doing regular video, like I have so many blabs a week that I schedule, and I try to bring on people and do different topics 3 times a week on Blab. And then I'm trying to get back on my Periscope schedule. I kind of got off that bit bad. And now I'm doing Facebook Live a little bit, so I'm mixing it up. You don't see me the same place every single day. I don't think that that's necessarily good for my business, but, I try to take my social media, mix it up, and do the video like maybe once a week Instagram video, once a week a Facebook Live, a couple times a week Periscope, 3 times a week Live. Before you know it, you've got content after content after content. And John, I think you do you're like every day all over the place. How do you make all that happen?
Absolutely. Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't start that way, right? You might see me all over every social media platform, but in the beginning, I was Facebook all the time. I just, I wanted to master that because I personally enrolled 300 people on Facebook in 2 years and turned it into 7,000. So you'll meet people that have recruited a lot of people on Facebook, but they don't know how to duplicate. They don't know anything about momentum. They don't know how to lead a huge organization. Then you've got people that know how to lead an organization, and they're the elite of the elite, but they don't know crap about Facebook. They're terrible online. They're real spammy, and they have no idea that you shouldn't post links on Facebook. They have no idea that, if you share a YouTube link, nobody's going to see it. You know what I mean? They don't know that constantly promoting your opportunity turns off everybody except the people in your opportunity. But at the same time, if I'm making $100,000 a month, do whatever I want, right? You can do whatever you want if you're making $100,000 a month, because you're making $100,000 a month. So people are going to be like, well, he's annoying, he's spammy, but he's making $100,000 a month, so I'm going to check out what he's doing. That's not duplicatable. There's some companies out there, and I don't want to name names, but they literally teach their entire network to post before and after pictures 3 times a day. You're just going to turn people off unless you're massively influential, because network marketing rewards you or punishes you based on the life you led prior to getting involved. So if you're super influential, you can post anything you want and you'll get traction because people respect you, but most people are not that respected. So trying to be a salesperson on social media will backfire.
Oh yeah.
it will. Nobody's going to pay attention because nobody wants to watch or pay attention to someone that's constantly spamming and pitching stuff.
I love the car salesman picture with the guy with the cigar, and he's got the old timey hat on, and cars in the background. That's like, I really sometimes just want to take that picture and send it to people.
This does not work.
It's this close.
It's so true. You should do it. People need to know.
Instead, I try to educate them and say, hey, this isn't really working. Would you like to learn how to do it properly? Well, maybe not so many words, but.
Well, again, inspiring people, educating people, entertaining people. Nadia and I have a lot of fun.
Yes,
notice that some of our fun videos actually get more engagement than anything else. But again, people are getting to know you, So I love providing value, but I also love people getting to know us so that they don't just look at us as just always being stuffy business people that work 24/7. And
you need to let your followers know, like, hey, we went out to this restaurant and this is what we're doing. And, we're at this family get together and,
like check in everywhere you go, taking pictures. Like, wow. I mean, this guy's making money, but he doesn't have to go to work every day like I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was in a company for 7 years where we were out doing meetings every night. And again, I'm not saying that that's bad. I just didn't want to do that. I noticed, I felt like I was lying to people eventually because it was like, so you want me to join so I can have time freedom and spend more time with my family, but you're out doing meetings every night.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, I really don't have that much time with my family. So I'm not doing meetings every night. So it's like, well, the only reason I would join is for time freedom, but you don't have any. So I'm not interested. So it was like, I couldn't continue with that company because they didn't have a way for me to create something from home or virtually, like we said in the beginning of this interview, right? So again, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying for me, I wanted to go in a different direction, Exactly.
And guys, with social media, one more topic that comes up all the time is the learning curve with the technical tools. And of course, I do animated video, I do the intros and the outros. But believe me, guys, when I first got started, I was lucky that I knew anything about how to get on Facebook. I was not the technical person. I could type a letter, I could do things like that in Word documents, but I knew nothing about the online marketing tools that are out there. I taught myself WordPress from YouTube. I taught myself how to use some of the video marketing tools that are out there. I bought programs. I did what I needed to do to train myself, but it is doable. And a lot of nowadays people are teaching over the shoulder teaching methods. And I think, that's one thing I really like about John is that him and Nadia really make things just, plain and out there and kind of, this is how you do it. There's no guesswork. And those are the type of people.
Well, another thing too, Wendy, is I'm sure you already use Upwork.com, but we have 6 virtual assistants and we just hired a full-time assistant. And, I just feel that ultimately the technicals, I don't like the technical stuff either. I'm not technical at all. But you can always hire people for $2, $3, $4 an hour in the Philippines that are great and love that stuff. They can do graphic design. They can edit videos. They can, contact people on Facebook if that's what you want them to do. So, just realize that there's never an excuse to not leverage technology because there's always someone that is good with technology for dirt cheap because of other countries. The dollar is just worth more in the Philippines or India, some of these other countries. So, for $2, $3 an hour, it's actually a really good income for somebody in another country. And they're virtual. It's a virtual assistant. That's what VA stands for. And Upwork.com or Fiverr.com with 2 R's. Right. You can go there to find people to help with anything that you struggle with.
Actually, I'm going to put that in the chat for people. Upwork.com and it's Fiverr.com.
Yep. And then my wife actually has a really good training on outsourcing that she's done. So if anybody wants that, just send me a message on Facebook, and I'll send them over the training. She did a phenomenal training.
Definitely.
Yeah, she did a phenomenal training with hiring.
You have to be careful.
Yeah, hiring virtual assistants is the process.
Yeah, you have to be careful and know what you're looking for, and know the right questions to ask the virtual assistant. Is what I would say.
100%.
So you definitely want to get that course from Nadia, and kind of go through that and learn about, the proper.
Well, this is actually a free training.
Oh, it is free. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's a free. She does have a paid. She has a course where it's more in depth, but this is still it's just a free training that she did on how to hire a virtual assistant. So it's a free webinar recording. It's literally one of her best and most popular trainings, actually.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. All right. And that brings up another point, guys. One way, if you are really wanting to get people to attract to you, talk to you, like, comment, share things, is start creating free offers. That way you're actually, having something that's maybe a fourth of a paid offer that you're putting out there. Like you can take a little snippet of what you're creating to put out there for people to purchase, but make it free to lead people into that. But also what it does is it will get people on your mailing list. So
yeah, totally.
What do you tell people about that, John? Like what's the best way to get something together that's free content that will help people move over and opt into that mailing list?
Well, for a network marketer, I don't think building an email list is the biggest priority in the beginning, because I notice it could be a little bit more complex. But at the end of the day, you can build a list on Facebook, you can build a list on LinkedIn, you can build a list anywhere. Right. And eventually you might want to go in that direction. But I know networkers right now that don't even have an email list, right? They're making big money. So whatever it is, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Blab, it's putting out something of value, preferably something that you're passionate about, something that you have some knowledge on. People are like, well, what works? What converts? What's going to get people? And it's like, it's not about what works. It's about what you're familiar with, what you're passionate about, what you want. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about network marketing, or do you want to talk about being an entrepreneur? Do you want to talk about, playing the piano? I don't know. Talk about whatever you're passionate about, put out value about that subject, and you'll meet a lot of people, because if it's something that people are interested in because you know more than most people about that subject or that topic, you're going to attract people to you, because you got to think there's only so many people out there that are putting out that type of content. And even if there's other people in your space, it still doesn't matter, because you're still going to relate to, like, I'm a man, so there's women out there that I might not relate to, but if a woman put out the same exact stuff I'm putting out, but because it's a woman, or because it's someone younger or older or a different ethnic background, or they live in a different part of the world, you might attract people, or people might find your stuff over my stuff, even if it's identical, but they might relate to you more or like your stuff more for whatever reason. So it's just getting out of your own way and getting out of your own head.
If anybody wants to come in the seat and actually ask a network marketing question of me or John, we definitely welcome you in. We'd love to help you grow your business, whatever that might be. So you can pop on in and ask the question.
Well, it's funny. I always tell people that I like having conversations with skeptics.
Yes, I do.
But I don't like talking to people that are cynical or pessimistic, because the problem is they've already made up their mind. Like, they don't actually want to hear your opinion, which is why I muted him, so I couldn't even hear him anymore. Because once I saw he was going in that direction, I figured I'd say what I want to say and then mute him out. So anybody else might be able to hear him. But to me, it's like, why would I argue with a fool, right? Because they're not actually open-minded to an opinion. They've already made up their mind. And it's funny, because you and I know we recruit people that are in law all the time, and they hate it. Like, one of the most successful network marketers in the state I live in, she was a criminal lawyer, hated the hours, hated the stress. Nobody goes to see a lawyer because things are going well in life. They go see a lawyer because they're experiencing divorce or murder or, DUIs, like horrible stuff, right? So she's like, my whole life was negative. I was never home. And you know what? If I didn't work, I didn't get paid. So ultimately, not only is she a huge network marketer, but she's writing a book right now. Like, she's super sharp. And to be honest with you, she was in a company that I left. I wouldn't actually want to do what she's doing now, but at least now she has residual income. At least now she makes money in other people's efforts. But that's the real world of network marketing, right? It's those types of people that sometimes we allow to affect us. I'll never forget this one time I was doing a meeting and there was a super negative guy there, a young guy just like this kid. And I told him how I made $250,000 in the mortgage business. This was back when I was doing mortgages, but I was doing network marketing part-time, and I made over $6,000 my first month in MLM. And eventually I got up to like 10 grand a month, and that was part-time. And he says to me, that's impossible that you're making that kind of money. You don't even have an MBA. And I said, actually, no, I do have an MBA. I have a massive bank account. And
I love that.
He jumps out of his seat, throws his arms up, and he's like, he just thinks I'm just a big fat liar. And now I know I could have just pulled up my bank account and I could have shown him, but he would have it wouldn't have mattered. He'd already made up his decision in his mind that he's smarter than me, that he's better than me, that he knows more than me. And that's really the problem with human beings, is that we're just closed-minded to other people, right? Like it's like when you see these Republicans fighting Democrats, or you see, black, white, like all of this, gender fighting, religious fighting, race fighting. I try not to get involved in that because I actually hear the different perspective, the different side. And I'm like, I get it. Like I'm not a woman, so I can't stick up for women's rights necessarily. But when I hear the point of view from a gay person, an international person, you know what I mean? An immigrant, whatever. I'm like, you know what? They have a valid point. But the reason I am the way I am, and I didn't used to be this way, I used to be opinionated just like that kid, but network marketing has made me more aware of the way people are. And you know what? It depends on your upbringing, right? It depends on where you live. Who are your parents? Like if your parents are Donald Trump, right? Your dad's Donald Trump. You don't think having a job and going to school to work for someone else is smart. You think owning a business and investing in business is smart. Right. You know what I mean? So a kid like that, and he's young, he doesn't know any better. Who knows how he'll think in 10 years when he's got a job that he hates and he's making okay money, but he like has a job that owns him, right? Like if he doesn't work, he doesn't make money, right? So 10 years from now, though, a guy like that might say, you know what, enough is enough. And then he becomes open-minded to not just network marketing, but he just might become open-minded to other opportunities.
Right. And I honestly think that you have to go through working that job to understand what time freedom really means. It's kind of like you have to pay those dues to get fed up enough with it to really motivate yourself into entrepreneurship, whether that be, a lot of people, they want their own business, like a retail store, or, they want to do network marketing or, whatever it is, but it's your own, you're the boss of it. You're responsible for bringing in the money. You can employ people, it's just that feeling of it's mine. I did this, no matter what it is. And, that's.
Well, and it's funny though, Wendy, here's what's funny. Even if you're a lawyer, you still want to generate leads.
Yeah, exactly. Like you definitely.
How are you going to get hired, right, if nobody knows you exist? Well, now somebody might say, well, I'm going to work for a law firm and they're going to hire me and I'm going to, get clients from that law firm. Okay, well, that law firm still has to generate leads. So you can generate leads on social media. You can generate leads on YouTube. You can generate leads, by using TV commercials, radio commercials. But I think we would all agree that in today's day and age, if you're not leveraging social media to market your business or market your product, market your service, market yourself, you're just missing out. You're foolish. You're missing out on a global phenomenon. But again, it's, you can't, what's the old saying? You can't fix stupid, right? You can't change someone's mind that is just so closed-minded that it's like they just made their decision that that's the way it is. this is what it is. And I don't care what anybody says. And again, I know that I used to be that way. I don't know if you were like that, Wendy, but I used to be very opinionated. And I remember my mom used to say, you should be a lawyer. And I'm like, I don't want to study that hard. I don't want to go to school to be a lawyer and get into $100,000 in debt. I can argue with the best of them. But again, it's like, is that really something that is going to give you, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, is it going to give you that time freedom? Right. And the answer is obviously no. You're exchanging time for dollars. You don't put in time, you don't make dollars. And to me, that's not a life I'm interested in. Some people might be fine with that. Yeah. But if that's what you want, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be miserable the next 3 decades of your life, 4 decades, doing something you don't love doing. It just doesn't make sense.
And I totally agree, because that's, what I want, that there are people out there that they want to have that brick and mortar store and whatever. But, it's like John points out, whether you're a plumber, you're a lawyer, I challenge anybody who has any kind of business to tell me that they use absolutely nothing for marketing. They're using something. So why not leverage what's free? Basically, maybe you are paying a virtual assistant to help you. So maybe not completely free, but, make that video 5 minutes of your time and post it. Done.
100%.
How much would you have paid for a commercial on television?
Couldn't agree more.
So it's, I know, like that guy was saying, oh, you marketers, you blah, 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 kind of making us out to be sleazy people. But it's us sleazy people that are getting sales for people like him when he goes and starts a law firm.
Well, I mean, and again, he's young. He has no idea. But there's tons of people out there that ultimately have no idea how to go out there and, promote a business or become an entrepreneur. So it's just easier for them to work for somebody else. And that's fine too. We need lawyers, right? I don't know what part of the world that kid was in, though. I mean, I have a feeling he wasn't even in the States. I think he was international. But somebody like that, it's if you don't have those people out there, then people like us aren't as valuable, right? Exactly. I mean, if everybody was doing what we're doing, that would actually suck.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be good. That'd be bad if everybody, and the same thing, if everybody was a lawyer, that wouldn't be good for who would the lawyers defend? I mean, so we need those people in society. But again, there's a big difference in somebody having a job and somebody, making the decision that they're just, what they do is the only way to go. It's kind of like network marketing, though. I meet network marketers. My wife is changing out the.
Yeah, hey, Nadia.
But there's network marketers out there that are the same way. They're just as bad as that kid, right? They're like, oh, my company's the only good company in the industry. And it's like, really, dude? You think just because the company you're in is the company you chose, you can't honestly think that every other company out there is no good.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, oh, the company I'm in is the best company in the industry. Why? Because I chose it. That's what I used to tell people. People are like, what's the best company? I'm like, the company I'm in. Just for fun, because it's a joke. It's like, how could you possibly say the company you're in is the best? That's like saying my wife is the hottest. Well, what if you might not even like women, right? If somebody says, well, my truck is better than your car, somebody might not even like trucks, right? My truck is better than your car. Somebody says, I don't even like trucks. I like cars. So how can I tell someone that a truck is better than a car? It's all an opinion, right? It's all an opinion. And ultimately, you have an opinion. I have an opinion. That kid had an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but that's the real world of network marketing, right? I'll do meetings and everybody in the room is a business owner, and I'll sign up half the room. Then I do a meeting and, it's all employees, and I've got more skeptics in the room of employees than I do in the room of business owners, because business owners know it takes money to make money. They understand the power and the concept of leverage. And I think that's the beautiful part about what we do, is that we can go out there and create something that doesn't necessarily require our time. I mean, it requires our time to build it, but eventually, once you build it up, you could be putting in time, making money, putting in time, making money, and eventually you can stop putting in time, still make money. That's what's interesting to me about MLM. And that's why I'm in this industry still, even though, like I said, we had our biggest month ever last month. But at the same time, a lot of that's not residual.
Yeah, it has to be that residual to really live.
So I love bringing in the today money, right? Today money is great, but residual money is why I'm in this industry after 14 years, right, of joining. I'm still doing it. You just can't get that in a job. You stop working, not only do you stop getting paid, they fire you.
Yeah. And, with any type of marketing company, people will fall in, fall out, fall in, fall out. So, I mean, even though you've built a residual business, you still have to give time and energy to it. So, it's, I don't want people to think that you can build residual income and then you have all this money every month for the rest of your life. It doesn't work that way. Definitely doesn't work that way. Well, John, I know I've taken like a lot of your time today, and I really, really, really appreciate you joining us. And I think we have dropped like huge marketing bombs today. So, if you guys are still on the call, I want you to make sure that you connect with me and with John, and, we can follow up with you in any way that you need us to. If you're watching the replay, we really appreciate you coming in and watching the replay. So before we get off of here, let's let everybody hear from you about how to reach you, your website, all that good stuff.
Well, it is funny too, because obviously I'm logged in through Nadia. I would say follow me on Twitter, but my Twitter I'm gonna have to put up. So it's at John Melton or at Real John Melton. So I'll put that in there. At Real John Melton. And honestly, that's how you can find me on all my social media. Snapchat, LinkedIn, Facebook is where I spend the majority of my time. So if somebody has questions or they want more information about something I talked about, the best thing to do is send me a message on Facebook.
Thank you for joining us today on Cash Life Mastery Social Juice. My name is Wendy Fore from Cash Life Mastery, where we're helping entrepreneurs into the path to success. And my guest today was John Melton, not Nadia Melton. Although we are going to try to get Nadia on the show. But thank you so much, John, for joining us. And he's left his link. You can find him at Real John Melton on most of the social media. Or you can go to realjohnmelton.com and connect with him there. And then, of course, John Melton on Facebook. So, guys, if you want to connect with John, that's how to do it. And please join us Thursday for Cash Life Mastery Social Juice when we talk about blogging with Chef Katrina.
Awesome.
Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.